Alright, to start with, I will be recording a video on installing Linux BackTrack5R3 onto a virtual machine for CIS 3003, my class at UCF. So here in the video you can see me going to the website and heading to the download page. Most notable about the download page is that you can skip registering, and as for settings, you're going to want to have a 64-bit architecture with a GNOME graphical user interface. At this point you can direct download a torrent. Personally, whatever you choose is up to you. Making sure you have these settings is correct, and your file should come out at about 3,200 megabytes. Yes, so next, once you have your file downloaded, we're going to pop open a virtual machine. Don't mind my pre-existing ones. We're going to go to New Virtual Machine. I use VMWareWorkstation, so these settings may be slightly different on yours. We're going to select our BackTrack5R3 file, and our virtual machine actually may not recognize it right away, but that's alright. So we're going to install it now. Hit next, go to Linux 2.6x kernel, 64-bit. Next, give it a name. And here's where you give it memory. I'm going to give it 20 gigs of memory to start with, and then moving on, we're going to give it a little bit more RAM. I have plenty of RAM, so I'm going to give it 4 gigs on top of what I regularly have. You'll look through everything else and notice it basically just inherits everything you already have. Alright, moving on. After this, we are ready to get our VM booted up. This is just displaying devices I have connected, thumbprint scanner, and an external hard drive. Moving on, we want to go to default boot text mode, and it's going to scroll through a command prompt. Give it a second while we wait, and then we'll give it the command start X. Perfect. Now we see this icon that says install BackTrack Live. We're going to click that and get started. Asks you for your language, has you configure your clock, asks you your keyboard interface, and then we're going to zip through this here. Alright, install right over what we have currently, because why do we need 2 operating systems? Moving on, we have just finished the installation, and we're going to click restart. Sorry if this seems rushed. The video was 11 minutes long, now it's 5.5. You're welcome. Alright, so we get to this. Default BackTrack login is root, and your password is TOOR. After that, it'll run through script, start X, and voila, you're back in, graphical user interface, and logged in on your own account. Now, moving through this, I'm going to demonstrate some basic functions once the video catches up. You can see it's still loading. Alright, now we're going to go set the screen resolution to something a little bit bigger on our virtual machine. I have a 36-inch monitor, so it's a little hard to get it right off the bat, but this will do for now. Moving on from that, if you notice, it has multiple panes. Clicking either of these 4 things will actually bring us to a different desktop. Here, I'm going to demonstrate the update. It's apt-get space update, and that'll update your Linux. So while that happens, let me give you a tour. It has a standard text editor gedit, and one of my favorite things, which is Terminator. Terminator essentially allows us to run multiple terminals at once. Check it out. I'm just going to run through it here, give another split, and a horizontal split. I actually didn't need that middle group. Alright, so perfect, 4 Terminators. What I just typed in is htop. It is a task manager for this Linux distro. It's just a daemon, so I mean you can get a different one if you want, but it's good at monitoring system usage. This distro comes stock with Firefox, EtherApe, and WICD, all great internet monitoring and internet using applications, and here we'll see a variety of tools used for pen testing, exploiting, backdoor tunneling, escalation attacks, spoofing, cracking, hash cracking, anything you can think of, there's actually a use for it. So right now I'm going to demonstrate the SET, Social Engineering Toolkit. We'll actually be able to go through, so just quickly agree. You'll notice that there's a variety of website attack vectors, social engineering attacks, etc. Moving through this, let's go through a credential harvester attack method on a website attack vector. And basically what this is going to do is ask me to enter in an IP address that it's going to post a server to. So I'd enter in my IP address. I'm going to type in www.facebook.com. It's going to clone the website because now we're using the website cloner. And then upon that, when somebody types in this address, they'll see a cloned copy of Facebook, attempt to sign into it, and it would actually harvest their credentials and send them to me in this command prompt. So this was a quick run through Linux Backtrack, a couple of its different settings, and of course what its main purpose is. Pen testing, exploiting, and all sorts of other things, of course for legal use. Do what you want with this knowledge, and again, sorry if the video was rushed. I had to bump it up to 2 times speed in order to save you 6 extra minutes of your life. I don't know. This is a long video. Anyways, end transmission right about now. Oh, by the way, the end bit was the update.